Hello there, health coaches. I hope you are having a fantastic week. I'm in the middle of running a 5-day program right now with my health coaching business, and it's going beautifully. I'm so pleased. And actually, I've been doing a lot of these 5-day challenge type programs in the past few months and really over the past few years. At first, it felt super duper complicated, like so many moving parts. I couldn't keep it straight, but now I kind of have it down to our science, which is good because I polled our community and you guys all said that you want to learn how to do this. You want to learn how to create your own 5-day challenges and pull them off seamlessly, which is awesome. So actually, based on that feedback from you guys, I have put together a brand new masterclass. It's called Create and Market Your First 5-Day Challenge. I've never done anything like this before, and I can't wait. It's gonna be fun. It'll be a one-time live workshop with me. I'm gonna walk you through the whole process step by step. We're gonna get into the details, and you can get all the information about that and register at healthcoachpower.com/5day. That's the number 5-day. Cool. But you know, when you learn something new, often it's like, I feel like I don't even know what I don't know. That's often the case when we enter like a new stage of life, or certainly when you're starting your business, or even when you take on a new project. I can't even tell you how many times I found myself in that situation. I go, in retrospect, it's like, wow, I didn't even know what I didn't know. So today, what I want to do is give you a heads up on some things that you should definitely know before running a 5-day challenge. And then that's going to help you decide, like, is this the right thing for you to do or not right now? Because I have been there and I have done that. So before we get into all of those things, I want to give a great big virtual hug to Gina, who wrote this 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. And she said, she titled it Health Coaching 101 Essential. And she wrote, Michelle is quite literally dominating the health coaching industry with her experience, knowledge, and valuable content. I feel like I don't listen to any other podcast but hers right now. She's a straight shooter, tells it like it is, personable lady that I can't help but hang out with. I was Michelle's client and HPU student for about 4 months and do not regret any of that time. I learned so much from her and continue to access her content and continue to grow as a health coach. Michelle, I can't thank you enough for your support, your authenticity, and of course, the African dancing on Instagram stories. Keep being you. Gina, you are the sweetest. Thank you so much. And yeah, if you guys don't know this, if you follow me on Instagram, you will see that I do post a lot of dancing videos. I love me some dance. Anyway, Gina, we would love to send you a little thank you gift for taking the time to leave a review. Please send your mailing address to us at support@healthcoachpower.com and just reference episode number 107. And for all of you guys listening, I so appreciate the reviews. If you could please take a moment and leave one for the show. Hey, maybe I will read yours on the air next week. So let's get into today's topic. And if you're here with me live and you have questions about 5-day challenges and running this type of free program in your business, go ahead and hit me up in the comments. I have my eye on those so I can make sure to answer your questions. And this was actually all sparked from a question that Kim asked inside of our Facebook group a week or two ago. And here's what she said. What template do I use to create a 5-day challenge? In what format do I send it to my clients? How do I make it interesting? And could the deeper teaching be on a Zoom call? Kim, I like how you think. You are thinking it through. One thing that I want you guys to know before you even think about running a 5-day challenge is that you can do this in an extremely low-tech way, meaning it can be as simple as sending 5 emails. And that's it. Like, that's all you have to do. And I know that's something that every single one of you can do. So there are like no excuses here. A 5-day challenge can really be very simple. So do not get yourself worked up about all the different kind of technology that you'll need to use, because that is just not true. Now, you might see people out there, you might see me, you might see other people out there running what are admittedly more complicated challenges, but it is not necessary. And for your first time out of the gate, I would actually recommend that you keep it on the simple side, right? That whole KISS principle, very important, just so you can learn the rhythm, get a feel for it, and then you can always make it fancier later This is reminding me of something though, by the way, because although what I just said is true, really all you need to do is send out those 5 emails, one every day. Here's something I didn't expect when I started running 5-day challenges. Invariably, your participants are going to start reaching out to you and saying things like, oh, you know what? I missed day 1 and day 2. Oh, and day 4. Can you resend those to me? And you're like, it's fine if it's like one person, but it gets annoying real quick because it's a lot of admin time. And you may not have your emails set up in a way that it's easy to just resend to like one person ad hoc like that. So what I recommend that you do is that you create some sort of archival system. That sounds fancy. Really, all it has to be is a simple page on your website, or even a file inside of a Facebook group, or you could even just compile it all into a PDF that you would attach to an email. And you would just put all your content as the days go by, you update the archive. So if someone asks you on day 4 for something that they missed on day 1, you're just like, you know what, here you go. And you just send them the archive of everything. In fact, you can even preempt all those questions by saying in your emails, hey, did you miss any part of this challenge? It's all available on this archive page with a little link. So much easier. Once I started doing that, I stopped getting inundated with all of these requests. So that's just something to consider. And that also points to the fact that people are not paying as much attention as you are. And I know that sounds like a bad thing, but it's actually kind of a good thing, because if you make a mistake, if there's a typo, like anytime we do stuff in our business and we get all like, oh, it wasn't perfect, guess what? People aren't even paying attention. They will sign up for a 5-day challenge and they won't even open any of the emails. They'll miss them. It'll go in their spam, whatever, you know, they're not paying any attention until like day 5. So that should just allow you to breathe a sigh of relief and know that you don't have to be perfect. And there is a way to help people catch up without you spending a lot of time resending emails. Now, as for this idea of keeping it interesting, here's what I have to say about that. And this comes up a lot. I see a lot of people saying, oh, I want to run a program like this. I want to run a program like that. Nobody wants the like, let's not eat sugar for 5 days challenge. That sounds terrible. That sounds like something nobody's gonna want to do. Or if it's like, you know, the drink more water for 5 days challenge. I mean, you and I both know that it's a good idea for people to drink more water and less soda or less coffee or whatever they're drinking. However, again, it's like a snooze fest to think about how, like, so what? So I'm gonna drink water? Like, I'm not even gonna sign up for that. And if they do sign up, you're gonna have a really hard time making that interesting, because it's just kind of not. And anytime you're talking about the specifics, like the how, like the eat more fiber challenge or drink more water or get more sleep challenge, it's so straight, it's boring. You're talking about the way that you help someone solve a bigger problem. That's what it is. So if you create a challenge around like the how, the more water, more exercise, more sleep, so it's a kind of a boring premise, and the challenge is going to be boring. I suggest that you instead create a challenge that helps your audience create something that they want to make, or helps them do something that they've been wanting to do. And here's the big thing, it solves a problem for them. So it's not like, hey, we're just gonna do this thing for 5 days. You have to sell it by talking about their pain point. It makes it so much more interesting. So let's say that your target market are women in their 30s who experience digestive issues, particularly bloating, right? So maybe in your practice, you work a lot with helping your clients avoid FODMAPs. I'm assuming you guys know what FODMAPs are. Anyway, you know, avoiding certain foods. You could create a challenge, and this would be pretty interesting because people generally don't like to talk about like their gas and their poop and stuff like that. And they also, FODMAP sounds like, huh, what's that? And you know, why would I want to avoid FODMAPs for 5 days? So instead of running like the 5-day FODMAP challenge, don't do that. You would want to run something called like, create a personalized flat belly plan in just 5 days. How exciting does that sound? I'm going to create something. It's going to be personalized to me. It's going to help me solve my problem, which is that it's like summertime and I wish that my belly were a little bit flatter. Yes. Now you have somebody's attention and you have so much more to talk about, because yes, you probably will talk about FODMAPs as a part of that, but you're also addressing their pain point, flat belly. So that leads you into talking about like their bathing suit and how they're fitting into their shorts, and they're, you know, just depending who they are and the lives that they lead, that's going to allow you to have like much broader conversations that apply to her, as opposed to just making it this like boring, like, don't eat gluten, don't eat this kind of email, right? So focus on helping your audience solve a problem that they want to solve, and you are going to make a much more interesting challenge for yourself. And that kind of brings me to another question that came in from our group. And this came from, and I'm going to mispronounce your name, I think, and I apologize in advance. I'm going to say Mighty, something like that. She said, I want to put together a pre-summer detox challenge. How would you name it to make it more catchy? So same idea. And actually inside the masterclass that I just told you guys about a few minutes ago, I am going to give you a formula for how to name these things and how to talk about these things so that they are most enticing to your audience. But I think even before you start naming it specifically, just like the concept of like, what am I actually doing in these 5 days for people? I'm just providing a detox. That's what it is. Hey, it's a detox. Sign up for a detox. If you ever want to detox, you could do it right now before the summer. I mean, that's okay. Some people are going to want to do that. But what would happen if instead of just calling it what it is, it's a detox, you focus more on their pain point and the problem that they want to solve, and like the why behind, like, why does it matter? Why would they actually sign up for this program in the first place? And suddenly you're not running a detox, you're running a get your energy back 5-day challenge, right? Or since you're talking about like a pre-summer detox here, maybe it's something about shedding their winter layers. Or the program that I'm actually running right now, you guys, I suppose I could have called it a detox. I could have been like, it's a detox. It's a 5-day detox. It's cool. That's it. But instead, I'm focusing on the idea of overcoming quarantine burnout, right? Because my audience of women are women who are already teetering on the edge of burnout, chronic stress. That's their middle name. And so now we've been in lockdown for months and months, and we are just starting to break out, and everybody's feeling that drag of having been in the house and, you know, what's been going on for the past few months. So anyway, the idea is to overcome quarantine burnout in just 5 days. Okay, now you're saying something that somebody wants to hear. I literally had somebody like write back to an email about that and go, quarantine burnout, I have that. I'm like, I know. So this is the trick. You want to lead with the pain point that a particular group of people have, that they're experiencing, and then it suddenly becomes much more interesting and more catchy and much more likely to get signups from your target market. So here's some other things that you need to know about a 5-day challenge. Kind of like how people are not going to be paying attention. I just think there's some things that you don't expect. We kind of expect that we're going to put out some sort of process for 5 days. Everyone is going to pay attention. Everyone is going to follow it. Everybody is going to get a particular result. And that can get a little bit scary because you're like, how can I promise results? How can I promise anything in just 5 days, right? Like, so I just want to like let you exhale that, get that off your shoulders. You don't have to carry that, this idea that you have to create change for somebody in 5 days. That's rarely going to happen, of course. But 5 days is a good amount of time to help somebody, let's say, map out a plan. So if you said 5 days to a personalized flat belly plan, you're not promising that they're going to have a flat belly, a perfectly flat belly after 5 days. And so when you say you're going to help them create a plan to get it, you are standing in your integrity, right? And at the end of that 5 days, she is going to have a better sense of what's causing her bloating, right? She's going to have whatever the steps are that you take her through in those 5 days, she's probably going to see, oh yeah, I've been eating this kind of food, or oh yeah, I need to do more of these kind of exercises, or oh yeah, I should be taking that sort of supplement, or whatever. And she's going to better be able to fix her problem or feel like she can fix her problem. And that's a huge win. That's a huge win, even if you don't actually fix the entire problem. I also want to say it's a perfect lead into selling your services. So if you think you can help someone better understand their problem and the possible solutions, first of all, they're going to think you're a genius. They're going to walk away from your 5-day challenge like, yeah, I got what I need here. This was so valuable. This person's so great. La, la, la. And then like 5 minutes later, 5 days later, 5 months later, however long it takes them to realize, oh my God, how do I actually do this? I mean, I know what I'm supposed to do, but I don't really understand. It's not totally working. What about this? I have to travel. I have to do, like, you know what I mean? People, you can give information, but implementing it is the thing that people will pay you for. So they're still going to struggle after your 5-day challenge. Even if they initially think, wow, this was awesome, they're going to struggle putting a plan into action. And that's why they would hire a coach. Let's see. Maridella says, great ideas. I wanted to do a create your personal anti-stress toolbox 5-day challenge. Now I'm thinking to make it an email program. So a 5-day challenge really is an email program, Maridella. We call it a 5-day challenge as sort of shorthand for like something that you do over 5 days with people, but almost invariably the base of that program is an email that goes out once every day. In fact, there's usually 6 emails. I'll be honest, you guys, because you're going to send an email what I call day 0. So the day before, just to remind everybody that you're going to be starting and make sure they have what they need and just giving them a heads up. And then days 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you would have those emails too. So 6 emails total. So if that's all you did, right? All you did was send those 6 emails, then yeah, you can still be calling it like a 5-day challenge. That's fine. You're going to help somebody do something in just 5 days, or sometimes it's just like, you know, for 5 days, I'm going to be providing such and such some value. You know, you can run this however you want, but anyway, the difference between a challenge and a 5-day email program is it's basically the same thing. Okay. So keep it at that. And then she said maybe she needs a more catchy title. So what did you have here? Create your personal anti-stress toolbox 5-day challenge. It's a couple words too long, perhaps, but usually what I do is I have a headline that goes on my opt-in page. Headline can be a little bit longer, right? So it's going to have like a verb in the beginning. It's going to be like, you know, sign up to create your plan, like exactly what you have here, your plan, sign up to create your anti-stress toolbox in just 5 days. And then for short, you might call it the anti-stress 5-day challenge, right? Like sometimes you just need to be able to say it quickly. So I think that could be fine. Alrighty. Oh, I see. So Maridella is saying she was maybe going to do this with videos and, you know, more complicated materials, but likes keeping it simple just to email. Yes, you can always add more, but start with the basics. Please, you guys, please don't overwhelm yourselves. One other thing that I think you need to know before running a 5-day challenge is that, as I mentioned, people don't always pay attention, and sometimes they do not participate at all. And that doesn't mean that you have failed. That doesn't mean that your challenge isn't working or that you're not doing a good job. I want you to make it okay if people don't participate, right? We just have to honor that like everyone's at their different place, like on their own path. Some people are going to be hanging on your every word, and other people are not even going to open the emails. And then a lot of people will be opening them and reading and maybe even, you know, clicking through. And if you had a video, maybe they're watching it, but they're not actually doing anything. They're not taking action in their life. From our perspective as coaches, it's like, oh, this isn't working, you know, if people aren't making progress. But I want you to know that as a business, it's still working, because if someone opts in, first of all, that means now they're on your mailing list if you've done it right. So now someone is on your mailing list, when that right there could be like the marker of success for your whole challenge. And also they're saying, yeah, I want to hear from you for the next 5 days. They're like, please, who wants more emails? This person is saying, yes, I want to hear from you for 5 days in a row. That also is a win, right? So they're saying, yes, please market to me. Yes, please tell me more about you and what you do. That's terrific. So even if they literally don't take a single step that you've outlined for them, you have gotten somewhere. Like you are achieving what you need to achieve with your business, at least in some way. Okay, so you can feel really good about it. This, you know, somebody might have a bad week, or for whatever reason, they're not able to participate at 100%. I never expect full participation from people. And I try to cater to that idea. So like on day 2, I might say, it's okay if you didn't get to the thing on day 1, here's what you can do now, right? So you really wanna like not make people feel like they have failed. And you want to be able to still give them a small win, even if they're only able to like dip their toe in on a couple of the days. So just think of it as a chance for you to showcase yourself, showcase your work, you're showcasing your personality. Like what I love about 5-day challenges is they're kind of casual. It's not like a webinar where we tend to get like a little bit stiff when we're presenting, with our microphone. They're a little more casual, and you have this whole 5-day span for people to get to know you. And that goes a long way into like building that whole like know, like, and trust factor. So even if you get people who don't do the challenge, they are coming to you, and it's very possible that on the side, maybe they haven't participated fully, but I've had this happen quite a bit. On the side, they'll be like, hey, by the way, can I hire you privately? Or like, hey, by the way, do you do consultations? Like, I like to just work with you. And maybe they don't even want to participate in the challenge. That has happened to me a number of times. So that's another way that you can win. And you're going to have past clients participate because they already love you. And here's a chance to do something with you again. And it's very likely that they're going to share this challenge with a friend. It's one thing for a past client to say to their friend, oh, I just paid a couple $1,000s to work with a health coach. You should do that too. But if someone's like, hey, I used to work with Michelle. She's awesome. She's running this free thing. Isn't that so much easier for people to share? And their friends are going to be like, oh, you had a good experience with her? I'll totally do it. It's free. Why not? I just had this happen, actually. One of my past clients emailed me this week and said that she had referred my program, my 5-day program, to her friend who's now doing it and loving it and having a really great experience. So now that person's on my mailing list. And because she came through a word of mouth referral, like this is how you create lifelong raving fans. And it does not matter how much of the challenge they actually complete. So I just wanted to put that expectation out there because people are busy, obviously, but if they're open to hearing what you have to say for 5 days, that's a huge win. Ardella says, I like how you made the connection to join your podcast. I have a Facebook business page so I can go live there. Okay, so what Maridelle's talking about is like I think what you're talking about, hon, is that right now inside my 5-day lift challenge, not really a challenge, but my 5-day lift program, same idea, one email, on days 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And when I had the concept for this in my business, the business goal was to drive more traffic to my podcast, not this podcast, but my She's Got Power podcast, and to get reviews on that podcast because it's newer and it just needs some extra love. So one thing that I have been doing, and this is totally optional, is each day of the week, I am providing a link to a podcast episode that I recorded specifically for that day of the challenge. So you can link to a podcast, you can link to a Facebook page, you can link to a Facebook group, you can link to blog posts, you can link nowhere at all, but it is an opportunity for you to kind of get your audience involved with more of the things that you're doing in your business. So lots of ways to win with a 5-day challenge. That's really my overall message for you guys. Like there's no one way to do it, and you can customize the way that you prepare your challenge so that it really meets like the goals that you need to meet in your business. So again, I'm going to walk you through the whole process of creating your own challenge. Like these are the emails you need. These are the graphics that you're going to need. Here, if you want to do a Facebook group, here's how you do it. Like if you want to do a giveaway, here's how you do it. We're going to be talking about not just the pieces, but the strategy, right? Then those pieces, the content, and then the promotion. So you don't do all this work and then nobody signs up. We're going to go through that whole process so that you feel confident and you're able to make it happen quickly for yourself. So you can get details about that, and you can sign up for this masterclass happening June 24th at healthcoachpower.com/5day. That's the number 5, DAY. All right, awesome. I'm going to answer a couple extra questions since I have a few minutes, you guys. If you're here live and you have a question for me, just throw it in the comment area. But here's some that came from our group in the past week. Amanda said, I'm 1 week away from wrapping up with my first practice client in her 12-week coaching program. Does anyone have any suggestions on how to close out a 12-week program? What does session number 12 look like? This is not something we reviewed in Well Coaches Module 1, and I would love some advice. It's always interesting for me to hear what you guys learn or don't learn inside all the different health coaching programs that are out there these days. So anyway, thank you for that, Amanda. Here's what I always do on a last session. it's somebody that I think I'm done with, I think they're done with me. I think we have achieved what we meant to achieve. And that is usually the case. I use that last session for future pacing, we call it, right? So future pacing is when you ask someone, it's a little bit of a meditation, or you could do this however you want. It could be on paper. I tend to do it a little bit more like a meditation where I ask my client to close their eyes and breathe. And then I will ask them to imagine themselves in the future. And we start with like 1 year from now. 1 year from now, where will you be? Where are you in this vision? What are you doing? Who are you with? What, you know, how are you feeling? You know, just really imagining for herself where she's going to be in a year, how old she's going to be, how old her kids are going to be if she has kids, that sort of thing. And it's always pretty interesting. Then I go, okay, we're going to go further into the future. Let's go 5 years from now. How old are you going to be in 5 years? What's going on in your life then? Just close your eyes and imagine the scene. And then we do it for 10 years, and then we do it for 20 years. And it can be a really powerful exercise and allows people to see the future that you've helped them begin to create. I gotta get goosebumps just talking about it. I love it. So that's an exercise I always save for that last session. And then if it's somebody who has not fully reached their goals, or has clearly found out that there's more that they could be doing, you know, this is also the session where you would offer for them to re-up with you and either repeat that 12-week session in the 12-week program in this case, or sometimes you might have, you know, shorter chunks like 4 session packages or whatever you're going to offer to people who have already been clients in your full program. Anyway, good luck with that, Amanda. And I'm going to do one more here, although Maridella is asking for that link again. So for that masterclass, you guys, on how to create and market your 5-day challenge, it's healthcoachpower.com/5day. Heck yeah. Our last question is from Tatiana. Tatiana says, how do you break the ice in that first coaching session? So I like this one because Amanda was asking about the last coaching session, and then Tatiana wanted to hear about the first coaching session. So what I do, and you know, as you coach and as you get more experience, you're going to come up with your own way of doing things. So it's not like what I do is the right way. But what I like to do with my first session is review the intake form and the food diary that I've had somebody fill out ahead of time. So as soon as somebody signs up for my program, they are automatically sent a pretty extensive intake form, or health history form, for those of you who are familiar with that phrase. But I ask a lot of questions about a lot of areas of their life. And then I also ask them to complete a 3-day food diary. They complete that, they send it to me, and then we use that first paid session to go over all of that information. And I don't mean go over it like, okay, you said your name is Kimberly. Is your name Kimberly? Great. You live at 135 Grand Street. Not like that. But, you know, I'm going through it and I'm like, oh, that's really interesting that you mentioned you have an allergy to, you know, whatever, nuts. Like, tell me about that. Or if I notice that there are certain topics that seem to sort of be like hot topics for them, we'll spend a little bit more time there. I'll dig into those areas a little bit. I will tell you, in many of my first sessions with my clients, somebody is in tears. Sometimes it's me. No, but like we're touched, you know, or it's like, it's emotional sometimes to dig into these important parts of our lives. It's not usually just about the food, like, tell me how much fiber you're eating, but it'll be like, oh, why is it difficult for you to get breakfast in the morning? And then they start talking about their schedule and their routine and how overwhelmed they are. And, you know, it can be really powerful if you have these conversations, like really getting deep into the conversation. So we do that with intake form and also with the food diary, which allows me as a practitioner to not just see what somebody's eating, but like step into their life, you know? Oh, I see here that you ate the same thing for dinner 3 days in a row. Like, what's that about? Or I see that you're waking up at 4:30 in the morning and eating breakfast at 5. Like, you only went to bed at like 11. Like, how's that working out for you? So it can be like a really interesting way of better understanding a person's life through the tool of a food diary. Anyway, that's the first session, and I find that it breaks that ice real quick. Also, most of the time your clients are going to be most excited on that first session. They've been waiting for it. They just paid you. Like, that's like the most important session in my opinion. No pressure. I'm not saying not to put pressure on you. I'm just saying it so that you know they're really excited in that session. So if there was ever a time to like ask the questions or get into it, like go for it. Don't feel like you have to tiptoe around and break the ice in a quiet, polite way. They want to be there. Amazing. That's Pamela saying over here, says, would love to participate in your masterclass. Yes, thanks for doing this. I am seeing results from your Make Money Now program. Your energy and experience are very helpful. Oh, Pamela, good. I'm glad you brought that up. Some of you participated. When did we do that? Maybe last month? It was a 5-day Make Money Now challenge. Boom, that was a 5-day challenge. So if you liked how I ran that, that's what I'm going to be teaching you how to do in the masterclass. And then you can use it to grow your own mailing list. You can use it to sell your services and products, at the end of that, and you will be able to benefit from it for years to come. I've run 5-day challenges now for like on a consistent basis for, I'm gonna say like 3 or 4 years now, and I've made hundreds of thousands of dollars as a result. So I definitely wanna pass on that format, that structure, that like formula to you so that you can start applying it in your own business. I think it's the easiest thing. Like it's so much easier than a webinar, and it's so much more personal and fun. At least it is for me. Anyway, can't wait to go through all of that with you. Again, if you guys want to sign up for the masterclass, it's healthcoachpower.com/5day. Until then, keep asking great questions in our Facebook group, and I will be back next week to answer them. Amazing. Have a great day, you guys. Bye-bye.